Hey guys, how is it going? And in today's video, I will be going over the top dividend stocks that I'm buying this week. It is 8:41 in the morning, so for me, the market opened up 11 minutes ago, so I'm really trying to get this video put out for y'all. With that being said, I did choose 7 or 8, if I'm not mistaken, different dividend stocks that I'm probably going to be buying into this week. I have to look at some of my accounts and see what I'm going to move in them, and I'll let you know what I do with that. But I'm probably going to be buying most of these this week at least. It did take me a while to research all these companies and figure out what's the best buy of the week. So with that being said, if you could leave a like down below to show some appreciation. It does take me a long time to make these videos. And subscribe to see future uploads. I want to start making this a regular series that I do on Monday where I talk about my favorite dividend stocks for the week, what I'll be buying. So yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. That being said, I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to get right into the stocks. And the first one is CIT, which is Citigroup. Citigroup's a financial institution. If you didn't know, they offer high-yield savings accounts, and most of their brick-and-mortar stores are actually spread out through Southern California, and there's about 60 plus of them. I didn't get a specific number, but I got like in the 60s to 80 range, which isn't bad. What makes this stock really appealing is the price point that it's at the moment from what I was looking at earlier, and the fact that their dividend in 2017 was a measly 15 cents per share, and now it's all the way up to 35 cents per share. I saw a couple websites talking about this being a good buy, and I looked into it, and I would say that their price point at the moment's in like the lower to middle section of what they're typically trading at. So it's not a bad price point right now, and I'm going to have all the prices like popped up above my head. I think that it's a pretty solid buy for the week. I've looked into it, and there's some pretty good stuff. The next one's going to be Invesco, and if you're a big ETF guy, this might sound familiar, and that's because Invesco makes a lot of ETFs and mutual funds that people invest into, and a lot of people are kind of bearish on Invesco because they can't really compete with the big funds such as like Vanguard funds and all, but I think that they're pretty solid. And it's really interesting, after I was doing some research on the company, they have over $1 billion in assets in their real estate fund, which is like absolutely incredible. So yeah, I think that it's just a really solid buy for the week. I was reading up on it and it didn't look too bad. Next one's going to be J&J, which I've talked about earlier last week, but essentially it's just a really good price point at the moment. And it's their 3 years earning growth rate is 332%. Sorry, I have like notes pulled up on my phone right here just so I can actually get my numbers right. In the past 3 years, their earnings growth rate is 332%. If you've watched any videos on like the main dividend titans that are out, you'll know that they're one of the biggest dividend titans, and the price point right now is not too bad. It's trading about average, about in the middle. Like if the 52-week high and the 52-week low, it's trading in about the lower to the middle quadrant of that. So it's not too bad. I don't have prices like right off my head. I did look at them all earlier on my computer, I promise. I just didn't I didn't write them down, which is like a foolish mistake on my end. But J&J would not be a bad pickup if you're looking to pick up a good dividend titan this week. The next one's going to be McDonald's, and the reason why I chose this is because it's kind of pandemic proof. That's the whole thought process behind it. McDonald's isn't necessarily like an insane dividend titan or anything along those lines, but they're a very low volatile company with a pretty decent dividend. And as the pandemic, because if you've noticed like yesterday, at least in Texas, I'm not sure what other areas that all you watching are from, but I mean, coronavirus is spiking huge, and so I don't really think that McDonald's is going to be one of the restaurants that goes down, just because McDonald's has been popping lately. I mean, they bounced back up so quick, and I mean, that's all there really is to it. The fact that they can sell a burger for $1 is absolutely insane. I was talking to my friends about it the other day, and no matter what economic situation America's in, everyone can most likely pull together $1 to get a burger from McDonald's. And so yeah, I think it's the main reason behind it. It's not a terrible price point at the moment as well, because of, it is overall down because of COVID, and in the future years it'll be put back up. And I don't think McDonald's is something that's going to be going away anytime soon, so if you're looking into picking up something in the fast food industry, then it might not be that bad of a purchase. The next stock up on this list is going to be Coca-Cola, which if you've watched the channel before, any of my investing videos, you'll know that I'm a big fan of Coca-Cola. They have a pretty good dividend, and to be honest, they're just really solid. I mean, looking at the numbers, their payout ratio is 68.7%, which I went over in the top 8 dividends last week. I mean, that's just really solid that they can keep it under 70%. Payout ratio is essentially how much of their earnings they're putting towards dividends, like how much they're giving back to investors. So a typical rule of thumb is to keep it under 80 or 90%, or you're really draining from the company in order to feed investors. Coca-Cola's is 68.7%, which isn't something to bat your eye out. There is some people like 3M, for example, they have one in, I would say it's in the 35 to 45% range. A lot of these dividend titans have like pretty solid payout ratios, but 68.7% is by no means bad, and it's not at a bad price point right now. The next one's going to be another one that I talked about in this last week's video, which is AT&T. AT&T is just like absolutely incredible. Their 25-year growth is super good. I was actually doing some research this morning, and the telecommunications sector in general is just down, and I think that if you're looking to get into it, then now is not necessarily a bad time. Me personally, I have a pretty good position in AT&T, so I'll stick by it. They're a dividend titan with a pretty good dividend yield, and if you're looking to pick some up, I don't think this week's a bad time per se. I don't think that COVID coming on a second round is going to necessarily just absolutely squash them, which is like kind of why I put it on this list. And the last stock pick of this week is going to be IBM. And now this is a company that I'm actually really excited to talk about, because I was planning on doing research for this video for like 45 minutes to an hour, but I ended up researching IBM for like an hour to an hour and a half alone, just because I found it so interesting. So what I found is not only are their dividend's decent. I want to say it's between 2 to 3%. I didn't write it down on my notepad like I should have. I'll have it popped up at the top of the screen. But anyways, not only is their dividend pretty decent, but they just have so much potential for capital gains in the next couple years. And the reason why, you might have heard of IBM like when you were younger. They used to be really big. They used to have a lot more market share when it came to computers and laptops and stuff like that. But now what they mainly focus on is cloud computing. And if you don't know what cloud computing is, it's something that I've been keeping my eye on personally for the past couple years. Literally when stuff gets announced, I watch videos on it. Essentially what it is, you know, like the cloud is essentially, it's the internet where it stores all your stuff, correct? And so if like cloud computing is essentially there being a computer in a different location, and you can just stream it on your screen, and all the computing is done in a different location. So you could essentially buy a device that all it does is video streams from some area, and there would be a physical computer that's doing all the work that you're telling it to do. And essentially that's what cloud computing is. I'm not really good at explaining it. You'd have to watch videos to understand it. But cloud computing is the future, because I mean you can really get rid of all the hardware in the residential space. Even in office spaces, like you can get rid of computers essentially just by putting them all in one big building and having them run on their own and streaming what their machines are doing to the customer. That's like an extremely sloppy explanation. You do have you should go watch videos on it because it's genuinely super interesting. But the reason it is on this list is because the price point is pretty attractive, and because I'm extremely bullish on this company. I really think IBM is going to take off in the next 5 years. So personally, I will be picking up some this week, without a doubt. I'll be putting some in my Roth IRA and maybe some into my Vanguard account or some into my Robinhood account. It just depends, but I'm going to guaranteed put some into my Roth IRA just because extremely bullish on this company after researching it. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video today. This did take me an extremely long amount of time to research. I mean, I've been up since 3 in the morning doing the research on these companies. I woke up super early, and I just decided to start cranking this video out. Hopefully I can get it out in the next hour or two by 9:30, 10:30. And I hope that you're enjoying it on Monday when it's the beginning of the week. But if you're not enjoying it on Monday, let me know what you're buying this week, as well as what I should keep my eyes on for next week, because I will have another one of these videos coming out next Monday around the exact same time. So I guess to wrap up the video, just comment down below what you want to see in the future and subscribe for future videos. Other than that, I'm probably going to end the video here and start editing it. Y'all have a good day.